Welcome in to the Locked On Pacers podcast. My name is Adam Friedman. Joining me on the other line for our weekly show is Mr. Tony East. He's the man of too many titles. Tony, we're watching this Pacer game live. It's about 5:35 left. How are the Pacers even winning this game at this moment? I really can't believe they're even up.
My goodness, they were so bad from that stretch in the second quarter. They couldn't score at all, but their defense has actually been pretty good. Has been the case in a lot of games recently, only giving up 83 with 5:20 to go. And without Kyrie, it's been easier to stop the Celtics, who currently have Marcus Smart earning the point every possession.
We're doing this live, watching the game live and recording our podcast we did last week. This time we're at, like I said, we have podcast about 5:10 left in the Celtics-Pacers game. We now have a score 80. We're not synced up, and Tony was about 5 seconds ahead of me. We are close enough where we'll be able to see the action at the same time. So we'll see how this goes. We're going to do this for about, let's say, the end of game, and we'll kind of go into our weekly preview, of course. So, well, it's the timeout. Our first topic then is Darren Collison. So Collison returned on Friday against the Hawks. He had 17 points. He looked really, really good. Collison this game has been, okay. He had that half-court 3-point shot, 2 points, but he's got 10 assists, which is kind of Darren Collison fashion. Anything you've seen from Collison that you, been excited to see?
So before I answer that question, I believe we have someone else on the line.
Okay, well, I was trying to keep it quiet, but behind me right now is my girlfriend, Rena Guerra. She's on the line. She might interrupt occasional moments, but we'll see what she says. She's doesn't like to talk about the Pacers because she doesn't know that much about them, but we'll see.
I'm respectful.
You can talk
to her right there.
Okay. Marino, how do you feel about Darren Collison's return? You're excited, correct? I'm
so proud of him.
That's the kind of superlatives we're going to get, these very cliche statements, probably from Marino.
Cutting edge analysis. But
yeah, she's going to get kind of these cliches.
Yeah, against the Hawks, I liked what I saw from Collison. He had that crazy awesome 3 at the buzzer of the first quarter. He didn't miss a shot in the first half. He just didn't look like he was ever injured, which I was really pleased with. And he actually ran well with the second unit. And I might have been too quick on this, so I know Ryan's going to listen. He said something about how he wants DC to play with the second unit, and I was quick to bash that. But I'm coming around to that being not the worst idea ever. But anyway, yeah, he's looked good with the ball. He's passing it well today. He shot well against the Hawks, and he doesn't look like he was injured, even though he's only playing 20 minutes a game. So hopefully Nate eases him back in appropriately, and I think he's going to start on Tuesday. So I'm happy with how he looks so far.
So he's played 24 minutes right now. Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to do next, was about him starting and not starting. So in the same way that they played really well that weekend when they played Milwaukee twice and the Wizards with Joseph in the starting lineup, but then they also had 3 of worst games of the season, but 3 pretty awful games against the Hawks, against the Mavs, and against the Jazz, with also Joseph in the starting lineup. So I'm kind of torn between, and it also depends is how much Joseph with Vic. I think that's kind of where his strength is when Collison plays with Vic, it's like Vic becomes an even better player than where you kind of to be. But I guess I'm open to the idea of Collison at least playing with the second unit more than he was before the injury.
Yeah, it kind of makes the team more balanced, because they finally have that reliable creator, because Lance has been not very good recently. And Corey is making a lot of sense with the first unit with his defense. What just happened on this inbounds play? Miles Turner just got the ball taken from him on a terrible pass. But yeah, he's it just would make some sense because of how the defense looks with Corey in the starting 5. But I do like what you said about how Vic does better with Collison, because that was my counterpoint, is it's really, what do you want? Do you want a nice balance of offense and defense, or do you want the offense to be as high powered as possible and the defense to just be okay?
Probably talk about that too right now. It's just how bad Lance was.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, going on almost. He was really bad against Dallas. He was he was okay against the Hawks. He played mediocre on the weekend, and then he was really bad Wednesday against the Jazz. I guess going on 2 weeks now. He's just been so bad, and it I'm doing an article for Indie Cornrows on Lance right now, so I've been kind of doing some research. Win-loss split, so he's like a -5 when they lose games, but he's like a -1 when they win games. It's just like when they lose, it's not because of him, but he's so bad.
Sorry. Yeah. Well, his impact is when he's actually hitting his shots, just his antics and energy are so huge, but he's had nothing going for him recently, and it's just been awful.
Yeah, and he's such a ball. But like they're Collison out, they basically had to run Lance as the point guard on the bench unit, and that was just disastrous because he doesn't move the ball in any way. He doesn't get like an offense flowing in any way. He's sort of just like, give me the ball, I'm going to go to the rim and hopefully draw a defender to make a pass kind of player. But
Turner stops Tatum on the
one of Joseph or Collison. At least Lance can be a little better because he's off the ball more.
Yeah, for sure, and he's not a bad spot up shooter, so I like that role. Turner just played some awesome defense on Tatum, by the way. Loved that. And also the set they're about to run.
Tony, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm behind you because my podcast keeps freezing. So we're just gonna play it as it live.
We're doing our best.
Gonna play as it is, and you can be ahead of me again.
Well, Turner is about to hit a beautiful jumper out of the pick and pop off that set where they start with.
So actually, I might be ahead of you. Actually, no, I'm ahead of you. My bad. I'm wrong with this. I hit live a mistake, so I think I'm ahead of you now. Actually,
I'm at 3:14 on the clock.
Yeah, I'm ahead of you. Sorry about that. I thought I was behind you because
he's so far ahead.
So,
wait, like really far ahead? Wow, that's kind of surprising.
Like 20 seconds ahead.
Well, I'm gonna pause right now, and you let me know when Bojan gets fouled, and I will jump back onto my cast. Sorry for all listening on this. But as we were saying about Lance, though,
riveting content today.
I know. We're testing this out. We tried it out last week.
He just got fouled.
All right, I'll hit play again. We'll be closer to synced up, but actually, you want to hit Miles a little bit. He's been really good recently. I've been actually really impressed with Turner.
Really good on off. Well, it's been mostly that his offense is good, and we were talking in the 8.9 seconds group chat today that his rim protection's been better, but his blocks have been down, and I think he's just like staying home more and not going for the crazy block all the time, even though he's had a couple nice ones on Baines in this game, and he's the pick and pop's working. It was really good against the Jazz. He was 10 of 14, I think, shooting in that game. He was stretching Gobert out, which we said would be the key to the game, except they just couldn't make a dang three. We'll hit
you want to hit the Utah game now, or you want to hit it later?
I think we can go. We'll just blend it now because that was his best game too. Because when he was on Gobert, he was abusing whatever guard was guarding him in the post too. And he was doing all the stuff we wanted him to do all year, the whole game. And that's the first time he's done it over an entire game. He was the only plus on the team.
Yeah, and I actually felt against Gobert, he actually took it to him. Yeah.
What is this Marcus Smart just only shoots well with the Pacers stuff?
I know. He has 17 points right now. I think against the Pacers, he shot like 9 of 10 in their game in December they lost. I mean, he's just been awesome.
He can't.
Vic.
Oh.
That Vic. That was Marina screaming in the background.
Look at that.
No, but I thought Turner against the Jazz really actually took it to Gobert. I know Gobert really played well, but the first time against the center, I thought,
oh my God,
freaking Marcus Smart.
Come on, Marcus Smart just banked a three.
No.
All right, let's pause this Jazz conversation. Marcus Smart? What the hell is him in the Pacers with everything?
Marcus Smart is the Pacers killer. It is crazy. It is really crazy.
Yeah. I mean, they're gonna win this game on Vic doing amazing stuff.
Oh my God!
No.
This is gonna come down to the end of it.
Every game we do this for is a good game. Oh, I don't think that was a foul. I don't like that call.
Yeah, it in most of these games come down to this Vic isolation play, some maybe pick and roll kind of thing. Can Vic get to the rim and score or pull his jumper off? But
something else random from this game that I noticed.
Smart.
Glenn Robinson's actually moving around and like playing really well on defense and cutting and not standing in the corner the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's what you expect, right? He's now, is this like game 6 and he returned?
Yeah.
7, and then 7 or 6. So like it's finally the time where he starts sort of playing for real, sort of in some sense.
Yeah, he had a really, really good defensive possession where he almost caused a backcourt violation and forced a shot clock violation. So, Tatum almost misses both. All right, 3-point game with a minute 30. This is a good one. I am intrigued that Corey Joseph is in
Yeah, so
with no Kyrie. That I don't know why that intrigues me. I guess Collison was hurt recently, but I might go with
kind
the
of
ball
games
handler
most of
here.
the time. I mean, just in general,
Yeah,
before
that's
even
Always got the steam. Beautiful
moved by Vic.
Oladipo with a beautiful finish. That was awesome. He has really turned it around the second half because he was not good in the first half, but he's been huge in the second half.
No, but he's been. It seems like it's always that way. And you know what I mean? He
Yeah.
always has these big third quarter games. The last time they won in Boston, they had a huge lead and blew it, and then he had a great end of game. But it seems like against Boston, they're at least when they played him in December, they're down big, make a huge comeback, take the lead, and then it's all Vic in the last 5 minutes of games almost.
Yeah, he has really shown up in the last 5 of this game, and this TV timeout gives us an opportunity to talk about that Jazz game a little bit. I talked a lot about how on the game recap how I think that's kind of going to be the strategy to beat this Pacers team in the playoffs is like they just baited them into so many mid-rangers and they hedged really high on threes, so they were all tough and contested. And they had Rudy Gobert defending the rim, and obviously no other team has Rudy Gobert, but I mean that's how you beat the Pacers. I mean they're not going to shoot that poorly from three every game, but they had them shooting the shot selection that you want your opponent to shoot.
I think that was just one of the we saw against I think January. I looked it up January 10th when they went 1 of 18 from three.
That was awful.
Like I think they just happened. These Pacers have these games where they just shoot like just almost comically bad from three. It seems like they just have it every 2. A lot of games that they play a bad game. I mean, it happens. So I think reading too much into the strategy of the Pacers because, right, if the Pacers end up shooting, let's say like 8 of 23 from three, which is like 30%, they still end. I mean, that's at 30% from three is still not good.
No, I agree. But I think it's like, I don't know, like 1 of 15. I know that there's like obviously some variance there, but I feel like the Jazz were forcing a lot of misses. Like it's not like it was just like complete luck. I mean, there was some. Oh, Rozier with a clutch shot. Wow.
All right, so minute 05, Vic's bringing up the ball. What are we thinking? Miles Turner sets the pick. Oh, Bojan sets the pick.
Oh, Bojan. They're going to do that double screen play they ran for Paul George a lot last year. Now Bojan's going to flare when Miles Turner pops out. Oh, or Vic's just going to go one-on-one. Oh, what a move.
Oh, he missed it.
What a move. Wow, this is quite the game. The TD Garden better be on their feet for this.
So this is probably
this is why I'm glad. This is the most glad I am that Kyrie's not on the court because he's the killer here. Oh, what D at the rim. Oh, foul. And
called a foul.
That was a foul. That was a foul, I think. I think they got him.
Yeah.
I'm learning.
No, I think you're right. I guess if you foul anybody,
Bojan has been cooked by Tatum time and time again. My goodness. That's just
yeah, Tatum. I mean,
it's like
an obvious matchup.
It's like the 4th or 5th time this game that I've noticed it. That's wild. I can't believe he missed one just a second ago. Let's see.
No.
Money.
Gosh, right, so even if he ties this game, we still got Vic with the ball.
I don't like the timing here because it's pretty clear with the timing that Boston's going to get the last shot.
Well, fast.
Yeah, I don't think they will, but they could.
No, sure.
I could see a Vic pull up really fast.
No.
Oh,
we almost saw Tatum miss. We have tied. It gotta be a timeout here. Yep. Okay. But yeah, that Jazz game was just disappointing all over, though. I mean, you're probably right that a lot of it was just a bad shooting game. I just loved the Jazz game plan overall and thought that, that's something that other teams will probably try to replicate.
And 0 for 4 from three, and like, how often does that actually happen? I know Ingles is a decent defender, but like the way he's been playing recently, Bojan hits 2 of those again. You know what I mean? I just think it was just such an outlier game.
They might have been
tired. They just looked bad. Like they looked bad. It's just what happens every so often.
Yes, and David Locke let me hear about it, which was fun. Hi, David, if you're listening.
I mean, the Jazz are one thing. They're really well coached. So like when you play bad, it seems even more obvious in almost sense because they're so well coached that every little thing you do amplified times 10. So ultimately, the way they recover against the Hawks, they're playing well tonight. Like it's just something that just happened. Like it happens every so often.
Yeah, I don't have the number, but I think Vic was 6 of 19 in that game, and he's he's turned it around in this Celtics game, was pretty good against the Hawks, but that game continued some struggles for him. But I think he's coming out of it a little bit. I don't know if that's because of Collison coming back or just a hilarious coincidence, but I don't really want to judge him being quote unquote back shooting the ball better until we see him and Collison share the floor more.
Yeah, I mean, he was 7-9 against the Hawks. You nailed the number 6-19, so good
Yes.
on that. Tonight he's 10 of 20 right now.
That's fine.
So we now got with 95 all.
36 and a half to go. This is a crazy possession. Wait, Collison, Joseph, and Vic. Wow, interesting.
All right, so I know, so I hit live, but you're gonna be really excited in a second.
Okay.
Adam's cheating.
It keeps freezing on me, Marina. I don't know what to do.
Mine froze, and I still have no idea what's happening. So I was just hoping yours didn't. There we go.
Well,
Mine's playing.
Banks it in. Uses some of that post that we were talking about earlier, where Turner, his post game, it's like all of a sudden he has one.
Oh, Turner with the. Oh, he's got Morris. Beautiful. Beautiful.
I told you that.
Behind.
Yeah, you're behind us. Sorry about that.
Well, mine just
but Turner
froze. Hey, man, that'll shut up at least 10 Turner haters for like a week. That's all I care about.
So when I don't understand when Turner got this kind of post game. I mean, like a break, right?
Yeah, he's been really good at down there since the All-Star break, including that Jazz game with Gobert. He even had some nice ones.
Yeah.
I don't know when he got this, but he's doing it like every game now.
It's just like this is actually the first time the Pacers ran a play from the end of a game. Like they told them you're gonna have the matchup. We're gonna give it to you. They never do that. They just never do that. So maybe it's just a confidence thing. Is why he's playing so well on the post. So I got 20 of the inbounded. I'm gonna do that play by play. If that's okay.
I can't believe Turner shushed the crowd.
You know what? He's developing into a
that's a baller move. That is such a baller move. Oh man,
I got now
8 of 13 for 19 points. Wow.
They got the rebound. Turner forced the block, by the way, on Rozier and Bojan. Or nope, I think Corey just got fouled. 11 seconds left.
That's all right. That's good.
I know.
Give me that look.
You're really behind, right?
Yeah, it's fine. I'm not gonna keep up. Try to pretend like I'm keeping up anymore. Mine froze at the worst time.
Tony.
Our content is dying in the riveting stuff.
Yeah.
So we got 97-95 Pacers lead, 11 seconds left. I believe Joseph was fouled, so he has 2 free throws.
I wish Bojan got fouled. I just saw that he threw it to Bojan at the last second. Bojan, we're going to talk about him. That's an easy transition. Still on fire. Little updates from last time, right? He's just absolutely killing it. I guess the Jazz game we said he stunk, but my goodness, he killed it against the Hawks, and he's killing it tonight too.
Yeah, I mean the Jazz game was a bad game for him, but he saw even his badness. He had 13 points.
You cursed him with your Joe Ingles comment.
Yeah, you know what? That was such a throwaway comment, and like, of course, it was like the one podcast David listens to,
and the Jazz fans came at us, dude.
I enjoy the controversy, and any publicity is good publicity for a guy like me who is just trying to make his name in the game. I'm cool.
He's trying to be the next Dan Dockich.
Not true, but let's keep that on. Let's keep some people's names off this podcast.
He's trying to be the next beep.
All right.
Beep.
But no, but Bojan, what's been really good recently is he's been getting to the rim and getting fouled.
Yes.
So like I think he shot 8 free throws against Milwaukee, 6 against the Jazz. I mean, he's like, even when he's not going, he's
both.
Oh, you're ahead of me. God damn it.
He missed both.
Excuse my language.
He missed both, but then they got the rebound and then Vic got fouled.
No. No. You're off. I'm sorry. Excuse my language. I think they weren't in the bonus yet, Tony.
Oh. Well, there we go. That makes sense. Now Vic's going to shoot free throws, which is a lot better than Corey. There we go. And nails the first.
God dang it.
This is stressing me out. What's the sub they just did? Thad? For who? Oh, probably Bojan. Never mind. That makes sense. I like that move. Yeah, defensive group. Corey, Vic, Thad,
No,
Miles.
it doesn't matter. You don't have to worry about defense.
Yeah, you do. They're gonna shoot right away.
Yeah, they got to go a whole length of the court, right?
Yeah. Ooh, all right. Here we go. Let's see what the plan is. I don't know what Stevens drew. Wow, they threw it into Smart. That surprises me. I would let him shoot, Vic. I wouldn't even worry about it. Okay, there's Marcus Smart that we know and love.
You missed it.
Yeah,
I think
All right.
Bojan dribbled out of bounds. Yeah, he did. Wow. That's Celtics ball. So Bojan got the rebound, listeners, and dribbled out of bounds. Under 3 seconds to go, though. Really, the Pacers just have to not. Really, the Pacers just have to not
Okay.
foul.
So they won this.
Wait. Oh, layup is good by Jason Tatum with 1.5 seconds to go. Just throw the ball as high as you can.
It's a really big.
Oh my gosh. Wait,
terrible.
what? Wait, what just happened? I think they just called a foul on somebody.
Adam, you jinxed them.
Adam might have just blown this.
You said they won, and now they're not going to win.
I don't know what just happened. Did Marcus? Oh,
Knock
they
on wood, and you
Marcus-
didn't do it.
Marcus Morris just flop citied, and they blew the whistle.
So did they shoot free throws on that or no?
I don't know what's about to happen. Vic is wow. That's a horrible call. Oh my god.
Biased, or is it actually?
No,
No,
look-
that's a horrible call. I just saw the
It is-
replay.
That is a trash call.
Are you kidding me right now? Did that really just happen?
You're playing at home. It's got to happen.
He just flopped that so hard. Tony, this is so stressful.
I know.
Free basketball. I want it.
This is like
we're
somehow
like-
worse. This is like somehow worse than the Terry Rozier one. Are they like checking to see if this is flagrant or something?
No, it's not.
What are they looking at?
I don't know. Are they going to call a flagrant foul here? But isn't it still our ball if it's flagrant?
Wait, can I ask, what does that mean?
Flagrant
flagrant
foul
foul
is
is like-
technical,
Hit him.
basically.
Get him above the head.
Like free throw and the ball.
Touch it.
Basketball in 5th grade.
So
I
can they
got
just
it
overturn
lots
the
of
call
times.
then?
I don't know what's happening. This is awful.
Can they see that they messed up and overturn this?
F your
Face
I
like
don't
barely.
know.
You didn't even mean to.
Yeah, I don't even know what can happen here. No, he's just putting his hand up to say, like, let's go.
All right. Well, this is a good game, I guess, to be doing this for, I guess.
This is a good. What is this situation?
Does that happen in pro basketball? You just lose all your manliness and you're like, oh my God, he hit me in the face. I have to fall down now.
That's great commentary, by the way.
This is what we need. The fan perspective or the not fan perspective. I don't even know.
I'm not a fan. I don't know what I'm talking about.
But she is right. Like what kind of tough guy flops at the end of games to win a game?
He has a shoe contract. He gets slapped in the face and he falls down.
I really want to know what they're reviewing here. I really don't understand what they're reviewing.
Never mind.
And they still haven't made a decision yet. So this means they made one yet?
I think you're at this. Now, Ryan, I love you. I don't know who you are, but just so you know. If you're still listening.
This is very stressful right now.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to diffuse tension.
Oh boy. Here we go.
So they didn't.
All right,
right.
Pacers win. Pacers win.
Oh, thank God.
Ooh, that was scary.
I didn't jinx them. That was really stressful.
That got about as intense as it could be. Yeah, they threw it into Smart for a buzzer beater, Rozier for a buzzer beater. He did not make it, and then a ton of contact on the floor, but no fouls called anyway.
Woo!
People fall,
Wait.
people falling
I'm
over
very
everywhere.
excited.
Oh, we got a tussle. Of course, we got a tussle on the court.
Yes, this is what I watch for. This is like hockey.
Well, Thad's trying to help
Marcus
us. Marcus
happy.
Smart.
It's a
Wait, what's going on right now?
Marcus Smart is unhappy.
Trying to
with-
help up Marcus Smart. That was trying to help him up. Did you see that? That reach
Yeah.
for him is like, oh, here, in my hand. And Marcus Smart probably threw his hand. It's like, I fucking hate you. Excuse my language. I hate you.
Everybody love everybody.
That was that was the most trash everything ever. What happened here? All right. Good D by Kojo, no foul. And then Thad just runs over Marcus Smart.
But the clock ran out. Oh, and then,
that was not cool by Thad.
well, he ran over Marcus Morris, who ran over Smart, right?
I like it.
I think Thad was trying to throw Morris to the ground because he was mad at him for
That's me.
flopping, but then he got Smart unintentionally.
That was just the lamest thing that's ever happened.
Yeah. All right. Well, they pulled that one
lame.
out. Should we take a quick break and then come back and do our like normal show?
Yes, we should.
All right. So we're gonna pause for a second, but we'll be back on the other side of this. None of this is counting. I'll leave this off.
I know. I'm walking across my room.
We'll talk about it right now. So a desk that sits straight up.
Whew. That was. I can't believe they almost blew that. That was nuts. I hate that I have to like not be a fan for that moment of the podcast. Like I have to be like,
All right, let's take 10 seconds and I'll come back in. All right. So just get like a blank 10 seconds. So I know when to cut it out.
Okay. Yep.
We can know water. All right, welcome back in. If you were listening, obviously that first segment, that long, I don't know how long we went, probably 20 minutes, give or take. Pacers pull it out, Tony. That was a terrible ending.
That was a horrible ending.
That flagrant call was they didn't call it flagrant, but the foul call was just terrible. And then what was it? Thad took out Marcus Morris, who then took out Marcus Smart. I don't know. All of that was just bad. But if you're listening to that first half, it was that first part of this podcast. It was probably a little weird, but we want to know what you think about it because I don't know. We're trying out something new. That was probably a little weird because we were off on our timing and everything. But I thought you got some good reactions at the end of that game because that was a crazy ending. I
would like you guys to tweet at us and let us know what you think about these live things. Also, while we have the opportunity, because the Cavs game is not over, the Pacers are third in the East.
What's the Cavs score right now?
They're playing the Lakers. I don't have the score up right now, but I just looked it up. They are losing by 6 in the second quarter.
So Pacers could be in sole third place.
Could be in sole third place as you're listening. That's crazy. That is so crazy.
And it's always, remember, Marina is here, so she'll be adding some commentary to the show as we go. So in our first segment, yeah, that kind of our first segment, we hit a little bit of Darren Collison, a little bit of the Utah game. Just like a quick recap on that is Collison tonight, just to hit him, he still finished 24 minutes, but only 2 points is what I got. Nope. Yeah, that's the wrong game, but 2 points in 24 minutes. But had 10 assists. Sorry, I have like 9 box scores up. I was trying to find it. That was interesting, but I thought, I'm encouraged by the way he looks. You think he's going to start Wednesday though?
I do. Wednesday, I think, or Tuesday. You mean, right?
My bad. Tuesday. They're playing every other.
Yes, I do think he's going to start Tuesday as they trudge into this really hard week. I think that they're going to try to make him back on his 30-minute-a-game life.
So we should probably talk about this. So Vic finished the game with 27 points. I think we determined he outplayed Kyrie because Kyrie only played 16 minutes.
Yeah, I didn't know. You're definitely right in this one.
So for previous listeners, Tony and I had a lively debate that ended me texting him "shut up" or something mean like that. I don't remember.
Wrong. They're like novels that whole day.
So mean.
Yeah, but that I said Vic had outplayed Kyrie, and it is now officially true because they were tied. Let's say they played 3 times because the first time the Pacers played, Vic didn't play, so that's fine. They were tied because Kyrie won the first time and Vic won the second time, and then this time they both played. Even though I know Kyrie's hurt a little bit, Vic outplayed him, but the Kyrie injury, in just one sense too, is important to remember because the Pacers could play the Celtics if they remain the 3 seed. Celtics remain the 2 seed in the playoffs, and if Kyrie is kind of like sort of like this damage he is right now, like almost like he was in the playoffs, I think 2 years ago, the Celtics are pretty dang vulnerable in the playoffs.
Yeah, certainly. They certainly are. They got Brad Stevens though. So
yeah, but if they don't have Kyrie, what do they have?
Brad.
They're playing Marcus Smart as their starting point guard, who, yes, I know he's the Pacer killer so far, but like I'm not scared of Marcus Smart in a 7-game series.
Yeah,
without Kyrie.
He'll be there. Kyrie will be back.
I agree, but we've seen the issues with his knee. He had the same issues in the 2015 NBA playoffs.
He threatened that like surgery and stuff.
Well, I'm talking about even the first year with LeBron where he missed the NBA Finals because he had his knee injury.
Oh, yeah.
and he had it lingering all year, and he was just kind of iffy. It was a whole thing, but that could happen. But do you think we can put Vic's slump to a rest?
Yes, I think the last 2 games have been nice and resurgent for him, and he had Tuesday off this past week when everyone else was practicing. He just did nothing. They could tell he was kind of hitting a wall and working hard. So I think they did the right stuff there, and I like that they sat him out there, and I think that put him on the right track.
Yeah, and he was 10 of 20, like I said tonight, 2 of 5 from 3. So usual Vic stuff, and he was good against the Hawks too. I guess he wasn't that great against the Jazz, but I don't think anybody was. But
no, Turner was. Turner was really good against the Jazz,
and he was good tonight. Turner hit the game-winning shot.
Turner did hit the game-winning shot and had some good defense down the stretch.
Yeah, he forced. Was it Smarter went to the rim on the last play and forced? Or maybe it was Rozier. It was one of the two. He forced him into a bad shot.
It was Rozier. Also, Rozier getting all the clutch shots. Very interesting.
Yeah, they must. I don't know why they trust him. I guess he did kill the Pacers that one time. But
that's true. Let's talk some Trevor Booker.
You want to do that? I want to
talk some Trevor Booker.
I was going to say I have one thing about Turner, if you don't mind.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, that's great.
I was going to say they chose to run the last play for him, and that was like the first time I've ever seen them do that. And is this a sign that maybe they're getting more confidence in? Because I don't know what it is, but it seems like this is probably the very first time in his career they said, last game tied, we're going to run the last play for you.
Yeah, well, I don't know if the play was actually designed for him, but there was a switch, and he had a good mismatch on the switch, and that's why they went to him. And I think Nate probably said if they switch, throw it to him. So I guess in that way it was designed for him. But, yeah, it was awesome to see them go to him, and it was really awesome to see him finish the play.
Yeah, I almost also wonder if it was Vic has been, I would say, almost like a mentor to Turner. Remember earlier in the season when Turner was struggling, was it when that Vic came over to him? It might have been Bojan too. We did the same thing, but Vic was kind of been a mentor to Turner in some sense. And so I wonder if Vic kind of saw it and just said, I trust Turner to win the game.
Yeah, and I like that he trusted him, and I like that they were mindful of the mismatch instead of just blindly running their final play just because it's what they drew up. That's smart moves from the players. And we got to talk about the third quarter in that game because they won it 34-20, and that's really why they won the game. But I don't know if we need to recap it any more than we did while we were doing our thing.
I'm just excited because I think we're starting to finally see the Miles Turner that could be the top 25 player in a year or two. Like, we're starting to see how he gets there with this mix of really good post play, taking advantage of that matchups when teams try to go really small because he can back those guys down, and also still being a lethal 3-point threat because he was 3 for 4 from 3 today. That's kind of the combination of how Turner becomes the number 2 guy on this team next to Vic in 2 years, and they can really compete.
Yeah, exactly. And if they get this Turner for 80% of their games going forward, that's crazy huge, especially with Sabonis not being as good, which we might have to talk about later in the week if it continues. But yeah, he's just killing it.
Yeah, Sabonis, I almost wonder if he hit another kind of rookie sophomore wall, but we can talk about that later. We should talk about Trevor Booker, like you said. So Booker has now played 2 games with the Pacers. 3 games, sorry. He played 3 with the Pacers. He played 14 minutes, 18, 19, so still limited action, sort of easing his way in. He had a pretty good game against the Hawks. Everybody did, so that was not surprising. But he had an 8 and 8 for a guy off the bench. He played pretty well.
He was canning the threes. That was what was awesome.
Yeah, and so against the Celtics, he was kind of in that stretch. He had a 4, then straight 2 stat line of rebound, assist, and block. So you seem to be really impressed with him. I know you texted me that you really like him.
Well, what he would have had to be to win me over was good on the glass, and like you said, 8 rebounds against the Hawks, and you could really see him putting in that effort in that game. And he got a few nice rebounds tonight, and he's setting some hard screens, a little too hard. He actually pushed Marcus Smart down on one in this game, but he's just doing a lot of the nitty gritty stuff that some of the other Pacers bigs don't do as much, and I like that part about him. It's not that he's so amazing, it's just that he's a change of pace that I enjoy.
Yeah, well, we both know the Celtics are a bunch of floppers. And hence by the end.
Okay, that one was not a flop, though. Booker did get him.
No, I know, but they like to sell it. The Celtics are a big sellers of injuries. They should win the Academy Award for stuff, but that really doesn't really matter. When I'm talking with Booker, I agree with you. I've liked what I've seen from him. He's put it he's come off the bench and he's not been a negative, and it's really kind of good to see that because the way TJ Leaf was just such a negative coming off the bench. It was really like you were afraid for Leaf or even Jefferson to come off the bench. But with Booker, it's like, oh, he comes in, he's a net neutral at the worst and a positive sometimes.
Yeah, and well, I think most of him being a positive is just that Leaf doesn't play, and like teams just don't go straight at Booker like they do with Leaf. And he actually rebounds and does like legitimate basketball stuff. So I like that.
Yeah, and he actually plays defense in a way that's like not scary. You know, like when you watch Leaf, like you're scared for him to have a guy with the ball in front because he's just going to either like run by him, you can push him over. Like Booker's sort of like almost like a brick where you just can't knock him over in some sense. But I've liked Booker. I've liked his defense, especially just better than Leafs. But speaking of defense, there's one thing I want to hit before we talk about the game previews coming up, and that is your article about Vic's all defense chances. There was a stat out there that defenses added. Vic was, I think, second in it. Now that's a stat that is influenced by the amount of minutes you play and all that stuff. So, you know, take it with a grain of salt. I retweeted, I think, is this good? And I didn't really know. But, you know, there's been some talk. You know, Vic has had, I think, he had his 50th straight game as a Seal tonight, I believe.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's I don't know how you would take that stat in valuing Defensive Player of the Year, but it's an awesome stat. But he's been, I think, one of the best shooting guard defenders in the league. You know, probably behind like the Klay Thompsons. Kind of, I think Thompson's another level, but kind of behind the Thompsons and Avery Bradley's of the league. But he's been really awesome. He's definitely been one of the best two-way guards in the NBA so far. But your article, I don't know, you want to hit what kind of you talked about on it?
Yeah, well, because of the steals is what really inspired me to look at it. And, you know, I've seen him do the on-ball stuff all year. But something I didn't put in there that I do want to talk about is, like, a lot of times he doesn't guard the best player on the other team, which is interesting. Like, I remember when they played the Raptors, he was guarding OG and they had Bojan on DeRozan. And then when they played the Magic, he was guarding Jonathan Simmons for a stretch, like stuff like when they play the Spurs, he guards Danny Green. Like, you know, it's just weird, like some of the matchups that he has. But yeah, he's been really good as an on-ball defender, and he never gives up on the play. And you know, he does get the steals. There's obviously more to defense than that, but yeah, his on-ball defense has been really good. So, you know, I think if he can keep it up, he's got a good shot. You know, like you said, Klay Thompson is probably going to be one of the guys, and I think Chris Paul is too. But the other two spots are up for debate, and there's not the list of guys going for it's pretty short.
Yeah, so you actually hit a question I was going to have for you, and that is, as I like Vic off the ball, off the main offensive player on defense. I think his defensive skill is that he's like a great roaming, like kind of safety and NFL type defender, where he's moving around in things where, you know, he can kind of like cut off passing and things like that to make steals is when he is his most effective. I think he's a fine one-on-one defender. You know, he's definitely somebody to like fear when he's guarding you one-on-one, but his best is when he is just like coming around and making those like blocks on guys that don't see him coming, or cutting off passing lanes to turn around into quick, fast breaks. That's where he's like at his strongest.
Yeah. Yeah, he does just know the game really well. But it's not like off-ball defense is weird to say because I think he's good at that roamer thing too. It's just like he helps one pass away a lot and stuff like that you can't do. Like the J.R. Smith clip I had in there, he just was terribly out of position.
Yeah, he also sometimes gets kind of caught in the center and then tries to recover by making a huge like leap out to the defender and gets called for his foul with those 3-point shots. Like more often than I think is like I usually see from guys. It seems like he gets called for that 3-point shot foul a ton, but overall, obviously, I think just his ability to sort of be like just kind of the utility defender, just doing every little extra thing that you need right is what makes him his best.
Yeah, I agree. And I really, after doing the research, think he should be on the second team. I don't think he will end up getting there, but I think he should be. So
then who are your four? You did a lot of research. Who are the four guys that are going to make it?
Yeah, my four, if I had to pick right now, would be Chris Paul, Klay Thompson, Vic, and Jrue Holiday.
So then who's the fifth guy out that Pacers fans should be watching for to kind of
first guy out? Man. Ben Simmons maybe or Avery Bradley. But Avery Bradley's been not as good.
Yeah, and Bradley's, I mean, that's also a thing where he switched teams and it's probably been a weird transition. Simmons going to he's going to qualify as a point guard, right?
Yeah, that's what I don't know because if he's a guard, he's probably the biggest threat because he's been really good on D.
Yeah, I guess Chris Paul has now played enough games where his 15 or whatever game injury doesn't really matter anymore, right?
Right.
Yeah, and Klay Thompson obviously deserves it. So
well, another one is Jimmy Butler. How many games does he end up with? Because one.
Isn't Butler a forward though?
No, he was a guard for All-Star voting.
That's weird because remember he was All NBA as a forward last year. That's why I'm thinking because he stole Paul George's spot.
Yep. Yeah, they call him a guard and Wiggins the 3 in Minnesota, so he could be one to watch out for.
Well, if Ben Simmons is one of the guys you should be looking for, then that's great because the Pacers played Philly this week, and we're about to do a couple game previews.
Hey.
All right, so the Pacers have 3 games coming up this week. They play at home against Philly, I believe. They go at Philly, home against Toronto, and then back out to Washington. 3 playoff teams. It continues a stretch of 4 games against, let's say, 4 of the best 7 teams in the East, give or take, depending on when Milwaukee falls. But a continuation of just a brutal schedule. But they pulled off tonight's game. They'll have to pull off Philly's game. Looking towards Philadelphia, you have the numbers, Tony?
I do have the numbers, but before I do that, I would like to ask Marina a question.
Go ahead.
Coolest team name: 76ers, Raptors, Wizards.
The Raptors, because I like dinosaurs. Also, Adam's been on like a serious Friends kick, so I'm thinking about like Ross being like, I am a paleontologist.
Oh man, you're really making me look not so great, Marina.
So it's just a lot I like thinking about the Raptors.
You're really making me look really bad right now.
Also, when I think of the 76ers, I just think of the 49ers, and I don't like having 2 numerals followed by I don't know. I don't like it. And Wizards just makes me think of my dog, so I like the Raptors.
I wish your dog could be on the podcast. It's so cute.
I wish he could too, but he would be so unhappy.
If you want to see Marina's dog, follow me on Twitter. It's the first picture in my profile, and I'm sure I have lots of retweets of it.
Called his Twitter picture. It's his twit pic.
This is what Marina's here for. The 76ers are 5th in pace, 16th in offense, and 5th in defense. They're really good at a lot of stuff because they have a top 10 player in the NBA and the best rookie in basketball.
So for all the Jazz fans out there, as in our boss David Locke, who seems to harp on everything, Tony is saying Ben Simmons is the rookie of the year over Donovan Mitchell.
I am.
Just side note that. But so Philly, the Pacers are 1-1 against Philly. So that means this is a huge game.
Huge game. How far apart are they right now? If you have the standings up, I'll get it up.
So Philly is 35-29, and the Pacers with today's win moved to 39-28. So that's like a 3.5 game.
2 games.
2 games. That's it right now.
Yep.
Okay, but
so you need a tiebreaker over the team that you're only 2 games ahead of.
What's the Pacers record now? I thought they're 39.
38. So they're 3 wins ahead and 1 loss ahead, which is a total of 4. So 4 divided by 2 is 2 games.
Did the Philly game against the Nets just finish? Yeah, it did. Okay, that's my bad. Yeah, you're right.
2 games.
You're right.
But yeah, it's just huge to get a tiebreaker with a team that you're that close to, and I think this is their last game of the year against them, right?
Yes. So this is the.
Is it? I'm not confident about that now that I say that.
This is the last one. They only play Philly 3 times. They play Washington 4 times. No, they play Washington only 3 times. They played Miami 3 times, and they end up playing Celtics 4 times. And yeah, they played them 3 times. I know for a fact.
Yeah, so this is a massive, massive game. Winning this tiebreaker would be huge because that would give them it over Milwaukee and Philly with a chance to still get it against Washington and Miami. So that'd be really nice. And I don't know how easy it's going to be in Philly, but it's just a massive game, and I think they're going to be up for it at least.
So we both think that Philly is probably the worst matchup the Pacers could play in the first round if they get one of the home court advantage spots.
100%.
I mean, I think obviously we agree like the Raptors would be a terrible matchup. Probably the Celtics, maybe not the Celtics actually, but like if they were to end up playing at like a 3-4 spot, playing Philly at the 6 would be just the worst.
The absolute worst. Yes.
Yeah. So
the dream is the 3-6 matchup with Washington. That's the dream.
Yeah, or a 4-5 against Washington even. Anything with Washington is the dream because you're facing like not either Giannis, who is like one of the top 5 players in the league, or Embiid, who kind of can be up there when he's actually healthy and playing right.
Yes, exactly.
You play teams you play Wizards who have good players, but they don't have any like top 10 players.
Right, exactly. And Wall was hurt, so who knows what he'll be.
Yeah.
But with Philly, they were on that tear right before the All-Star break, but struggling a little more recently. They just lost to Miami twice, I think, in the last week, and got blown out by the Wizards a couple weeks ago, or right after the break. So they're kind of hanging around where they Their record is now they're not like amazing. Robert Covington really struggling to shoot from three. That's going to be something to look out for, because if they can not guard him as much, they'll have some help to stop Embiid and Simmons from going crazy.
Yeah, and I actually think so. I heard this on the Bill Simmons podcast, which he made a really good point, was that Simmons, you expect Simmons to hit this rookie wall at some point, but because Simmons didn't make the All-Star game, he sort of has a chip on his shoulder, so he might not actually hit the rookie wall. This is about the time you expect a guy like Simmons, to play. About 60 games in is when the rookies sort of fade because they haven't played this much, but Simmons seems to just be fine. I mean, he's rolling like always.
He doesn't play like a rookie. He's a stud. Like
he's also technically a sophomore. He just didn't play last year.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't really care. But he has been he's so good at everything. Like, he's a really good defender. I mean, he can't shoot for a lick, so I shouldn't say.
So he's not good at everything.
I shouldn't say everything, but he's he's so influential with his passing, and he can attack the rim, and he's such a good athlete. So I do worry about him, because with Embiid, like, I know he's get better than Turner, but I think Turner has like a chance to stop him every once in a while, but I don't know who can stop Simmons.
Yeah, I think with Simmons, I think on the defensive end, you don't have to worry about that much unless you're just going to let him just ultimately just kill you. I mean, like, you can just let him kind of like kill going to the rim. But if you don't let him do that, I think you can play almost anybody on him, right? I mean, I think they played Collison on him. I think they switched to playing – I'm trying to remember the second game. I think they switched to playing more Bojan on him. But you can almost play anybody on him as long as you just keep him in front of you.
Yeah, but that's hard to do. He's so fast.
Well, and with Turner in the back, you have a little bit of like a safety mechanism in some sense, where like if you get beat, you have Turner there to sort of back you up.
Yeah, that worked out in their second game. But in the first, Turner didn't play the first game. That's right.
Yeah, well, no, that was his first game back. Turner did play, but he played off the bench.
He was start. That's what it was. But also, don't forget that the last time they played, those Sixers won a back-to-back.
Yeah, it was Embiid's first back-to-back game.
Yes. But they just have some solid, talented guys. Like Saric is raining in the threes now, and JJ Redick killed the Pacers that first time. So, and they have Bellinelli and Ilyasova added to the team. So they have a lot of good layers of talent, and it'll be the Trevor Booker revenge game. Just a lot to take in.
So a couple things to just check off like boxes. It is not a back-to-back for Philly, so that's not going to be an issue. And I had another box in my head, but now I've blanked on it. Well, it's not a back-to-back, and I don't remember what the other one was, but not better for the Pacers either. Who is going to be your butcher on Philly? Is it going to be Embiid, or do you have another one?
Yeah, it's Embiid, just because he's a top 10 player in the sport, and he's so good at everything.
I almost want to say JJ Redick. He had his best game against the Pacers. He had 31 against the Pacers last time they played. But I'm just kind of copying out to not say Embiid. Redick has been, I don't know. Redick's been a really good offensive player. He's a player I'd love to see on the Pacers next year, playing in like a spot next to Vic or off the bench. Redick is a free agent, so JJ may be coming to Indiana. But that's just a side note. But I think Redick could kill them if they just kind of lose track of him like they did the first time they played. Yeah,
he's so good at shooting, and they send him off of like 1,000 screens a possession, so he's so hard to stop.
Yeah, I mean, they literally run a better version of – he's faster than Bojan, so it's like they run the same thing the Pacers run for Bojan, except Redick is faster, so he slips around faster and kind of gets more open almost.
Yeah, all the time, and his release is so quick and pure that he just drains it. That's a good one. A lot of their starters really would be a good pick. I would probably venture to say anyone but Covington is not a terrible pick of the starters.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but are you just? I just hate JJ Redick in general. I mean, like, not because I have the person. I'm sure he's fine as a person, but the Duke guy, and I'm not a Duke fan. I'm a Go Syracuse made the tournament today. I knew I was trying to get that in at some point, but they snuck in on the bubble. That's another conversation for another day.
It's not a conversation at all.
Marina, you gotta let me be. But JJ Redick, I just don't.
Did Ball State make it, Marina?
Do they ever? But they're good. Did Indiana make it, Tony? I don't think they did.
Ooh,
they
shot
fired. They did not.
Don't come at Marina. She'll just throw stats back at you.
She's throwing sand in my face.
Exactly.
I like JJ Redick at Duke just because I liked his free throw streak, but that's fair.
He's just like one of the players I hate. I just hate him. I don't know why.
I don't really have many of those. I Matthew Dellavedova. Marcus,
I agree with you.
Marcus Smart might join that list soon if he keeps up his BS.
Yeah, I don't like either of the Morris twins.
I like the Morris twins. I just don't like dirty players.
That's the Morris twins.
They are. They're not great.
They're not great. I think one's
not as bad as they're not as bad as Deli or Zaza. Not even close.
Yeah, I don't know. Zaza, I think gets too much hate, especially for what happened in that Warriors game where he clearly got clipped in the back of the leg when he fell.
Yeah, that one I don't care about as much. He just does some trash stuff.
Yeah, he does. So let's move to X Factors. Well, this is what we do in this podcast. We tangent off and then we bring it back in. Is your X Factor Vic, as always, or is there some other one? I'll let you pick first because I have another one that's non-Vic.
Miles Turner.
Well, mine and Marina's are the same.
Yeah.
Oh, well, so is mine too. So never mind. I'll pick.
That's easy. Yeah, we need to preface it if we have the same one as the X Factor that isn't the same as the other person's. If you go second.
Well, you can go first. So give your reason for Turner.
Yes, I'm going Turner because his hot streak has been huge for the defense. He can make Embiid move around and exert energy on both ends of the court. And if the three ball's falling, he's just so useful for stretching the court. So just a lot of reasons.
Yeah, that was what I kind of had. I think it's the same thing with how he gets Gobert, where if Turner knocks down his first few jumpers and forces Embiid out of the rim area, it changes the whole game because it allows Vic to go to the rim, and it changes everything. So that's why I was going to pick Turner. But if I don't have to pick a non-Turner one, and I guess I'd like a non-Vic one, I would probably pick Bojan.
Okay. Why?
Just because I think he's going to be guarded by Redick, and that's a favorable matchup for him. It's like I said, it's the same kind of player. I don't think Redick is some superb defender. If Covington's on him, might be another story. But if he gets the Redick matchup, I guess they could play Simmons on him, but I doubt they'll do that. I think Simmons will guard whoever starts a point guard, Collison or Joseph. But I think that could be favorable. Bojan's like we've talked about before, it's just playing so well recently. If he gets just a few open looks, he'll be awesome, and he'll get his.
And he can get to the rim on Redick too.
Yeah, I worry about just Embiid and being in his way to get to the rim.
Right.
That's my big. I'm not with any of the Pacer players. Where I think they're gonna have to play sort of the way they played the Jazz, except not shoot 1 of 18 from 3 and 38% overall from the field. Like have to rely on their mid range, which they're one of the best mid range shooting teams in the league. So there are nights they're gonna hit 50% of their mid rangers and win games that way. Yeah,
that'd be a nice way to beat this team. Also, just got a message from one of my buddies in the Celtics media, and he said Al Jefferson just walked in and saw all the food in the media room, and his face lit up. He will not stop talking about it.
Also, low key, Al Jefferson revenge game against the Celtics.
Yeah,
didn't play, but revenge game.
Didn't play, but that was a revenge game.
Well, he's happiest when he sees the food that he didn't play in the game.
Makes it, man. He didn't even play garbage time anymore because they had it in the Hawks, and it was like TJ was out there and Poitras and stuff. Al does not get any time anymore. But if we're talking about, oh my gosh, sorry, hang on. If we're talking about Al Jefferson, it's time to go to the Raptors.
Yes, it is. We're gonna do scores at the end. We'll do our prediction at the end. So do you have the Raptors numbers up, or do you want me to read?
So I just said, oh my gosh, because on B-Ball Ref, when you go to a team's like team page, it has these like green. It has their schedule with like these bars that go up or down if they win.
Yeah, the Raptors have a ton of high green bars.
The Raptors, yeah, their last like 20 games are just so many high green ones. I just
their whole season. Look at it, just all these super high green.
Yeah, they're on a rip recently. They're first in the East, and they look like the best team. Fourth in defense, third in offense in the whole league. That's crazy. 14th in pace. They just are clicking on all cylinders, man. They are a stud of a team.
All right, I want to look up what do you think the Warriors and Rockets ratings are?
I think the Warriors are first on D, but no, not this year. I don't know. I know the Rockets are first in offense. I bet the Warriors are second in offense, and then on defense, I bet the Warriors are like 8th and the Rockets like 12th.
So the Warriors are 2nd and 10th, so you were about there.
Okay.
And the Rockets, because I mean the Raptors are a top 5 team in both. That usually bodes well for a team. You know what I mean? It usually spells finals run for teams if they're top 5.
Jonas Valanciunas is hitting threes now, so he's actually like a serviceable starting center. And Fred VanVleet is like apparently a starting caliber point guard they have just chilling on the bench. And OG's good, and CJ Miles is good. Like everyone is just, it's all working for him.
Yeah, so the Rockets are 1st and 9th. So usually
one off on both. That's annoying.
But like you were saying, the question is with their bench. So their bench is super valuable in the regular season.
Yeah, I agree.
How
valuable
I
know what you're about to say, and I agree. I know exactly. I know exactly what you're going to say, and I totally agree because when the rotation shortens, that's what matters. And like, who are their three guys off the bench in the playoffs will probably be like Van Vliet, Jakob Pertl, and CJ Miles.
Yeah, I think Miles is the 8th guy. I was thinking that.
Yeah, so that's fine, but it's in the regular season when you go 10 deep and you got like Delon Wright out there and he's better than whoever the other guy's 10th guy is, and they just have the Pascal Siakam's really good off the bench too. Like they have those matchups won, but they're not as big of a margins on the 1 through 8.
So there are 2 previous times I've seen teams sort of this deep in the East in the LeBron era. The first one, we'll go backwards. So the second one would be the Atlanta Hawks in 14-15. Yep. They were about 8 or 9 deep. I mean, that starting lineup before those guys made the All-Star game, they won 60 games, and it didn't mean squat in the playoffs. They got beaten.
They got to 6 with the Cavs. That's not awful.
They did. I swear they lost in 5.
They got to 6, yeah.
Well, it was a 3-1-6 where they pulled out the 5th game. The other team, obviously, is the Pacer team, who actually was better the year before than the year they actually were the 1 seed in the East. They did the same thing. They got to 6 games where they were probably 9 deep, but then they kind of messed with it and brought in Turner and brought in Bynum, and that screwed things up. But so in the LeBron era, being 9 or 10 deep hasn't really boded well for any teams, but this might be the one year where it does because LeBron doesn't have anybody else. Like the Raptors will win every other matchup except for the top matchup.
Yeah, for sure. And that'll be interesting to watch for them in the playoffs because I'll believe it when I see it, I guess, but I'm confident that they can be better than the playoffs this year than they have been in the past.
And DeRozan has been so good in the clutch. At least they know who their go-to clutch guy is. I feel like with the Hawks and Pacers, it was like, is PG the clutch guy yet? He's so young, you thought he was, but you weren't sure. And then with the Hawks, they never really had the guy. But like DeRozan, is the go-to guy at the end of games, and that's a valuable thing in the playoffs.
Yes, and he's been awesome this year.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about just that Rockets Raptors game from Saturday where he was awesome. I mean, It was maybe the best game of the season so far. That's what people are tweeting out at least.
Yeah, I loved it. I was watching it. I really enjoyed that game.
Yeah, so the Raptors have been – last time the Pacers played the Raptors, I believe they played them 3 times already.
Yes. No, just twice, right?
Just twice?
I don't know. Dang.
You're right, just twice. I'm imagining. They play them 2 more times. Today they play them on Thursday and then another time later in the year. The first time was that game actually Tony and I went to where Lance basically won the game in the 4th quarter with that amazing – I think he went 5 of 7 from 3 in the last 10 minutes. And our fellow Locked On Raptors guy was freaking out. You're doing what they want them to do. We're letting Lance shoot threes, yet they're just winning. Like it was that kind of reaction. And then the other time they lost by 5 in a game, Vic played extremely well, but they just couldn't pull out.
Yeah, that Lance game was crazy. But yeah, I think the Raptors are like clicking so much now that I don't think the Pacers have much of a chance even at home. I really don't.
Wow, I don't know. I feel like the Pacers, at least Lance, is under the Raptors' skin the same way under LeBron's skin.
That's fair.
Like
maybe that's possible.
And like this is the team that's seen the Raptors. I guess they only played them once in the playoffs, but it feels like they played them so much, even though the roster turnover and all that stuff. But I feel like they can keep it close and competitive. I don't know why. I mean, maybe I just have a warped view of the Raptors because I think them as the team that just constantly blows playoff games, stuff like that, and they're just maybe a different team now. But I sort of had that view that this team can compete with them, but maybe not. Just maybe not.
Yeah, I just think that the way they've been playing, like I just don't know how the Pacers would stop them at all. Their offense is too good recently.
I mean, I think the game plan is you put Vic on DeRozan, you start Joseph, or you play Joseph more minutes, and you hope you can sort of force Lowry in the way that George Hill used to kind of screw with Lowry, and then you hope you win down low with Turner. I mean, I like a strategy. It might not work, but it could.
I think that's what they'll do. I don't think it will work.
So then is your butcher Lowry or DeRozan, or is it some random person off the bench?
My MO is to pick the random guy. No, it's DeRozan.
You don't want to pick CJ Miles?
No.
The former Pacer, who I believe it's 4 or 5 games ago, went I'm going to look up his stats. I think he went 8 of 10 4 games ago, where he was just off the charts against somebody. He went 6 of 9 from 3 and 20 points.
Not picking DeRozan. He's got the height on whoever he's going to be guarding him. and the speed and the athletic and the everything, unless Vic guarding, and then he doesn't have that, but they'll have the height on Vic, and he's just so good. And now that he is at least a competent 3-point shooter, he just has it all, and he's been awesome. So it's him for me.
Yeah, I think it's honestly going to be DeRozan, like you said, but I think there's a chance one of these bench guys just has a really nice night. I mean, it could be Miles if he's guarded by Lance at all, or somebody who gets caught sleeping, because we've seen it Lance where he just gets caught looking and get the ball all the time and not watching his defender. I mean, we saw Doug McDermott just kill him when they played Dallas, and I think Miles could do the same thing if that happens. But I agree, it's probably DeRozan's probably going to get his 25 he gets, and the difference is going to be whether Lowry has a really good game and whether one of the big guys like Valanciunas go off.
Oh man, we got to quit doing these so late in the day, man. I'm exhausted.
So long.
Well, you wanted to do this during the game, so that's why.
No, I was busy all day.
Exactly. Tony, yawning on a podcast—that's a tradition unlike anything other.
I'm so embarrassed that I do this so much.
So let's move to X Factors. We can push through this. If you can. X Factors. I'm gonna go first this time so you don't steal mine.
Yep.
Even though it's an obvious one. So Vic had 36 points the last time they played the Raptors back in December. I remember it was really kind of around the time Vic was reaching his kind of oh crap, this guy is gonna be an all-star kind of level. It was the start of where he had 36 against them, then he had 33 against the Cavaliers and 47 against the Nuggets. It's all in a 4 or 5 game stretch. But I think Vic going against DeRozan is sort of like Vic going against Kyrie, where he wants to prove that he's as good as that guy and he's one of the best guards in the NBA, and that's his opportunity to really, because if he's guarded by DeRozan, which I'm not sure he will be, but if he gets switched on DeRozan, he'll be able to take advantage of that, and I think he'll just have an awesome game scoring wise. I don't know if that translates to a win, but I think it'll to a 30-point Vic game.
I like that pick. So I have kind of 2, which is lame.
Go for it, I guess.
I want them to pick on OG Anunoby. I know he's a really good on-ball defender, but he's a rookie, so make him move around a lot. So that would make me say Bojan, but my actual answer is going to be Corey Joseph, because like we talked about, their bench is so good. That's where they get their advantage. If he can do a better job than most guys do on Fred VanVleet, that would slow down their second unit quite a bit and could be a difference maker. And it's a revenge game for him.
Yeah, I would say good. Remember to point out that, is it a revenge game? I guess they traded him, right? They got rid of him.
Revenge games here. CJ Miles versus Corey Joseph is great content.
I mean, we literally call guys who played I think when Lance played against Memphis for 20 games, we called that a revenge game. So everything a revenge game for us. But that's something to watch, though, is the CJ Miles, because Miles did not play last time they played in Indianapolis. I believe his wife had a baby the day of or the day before the game.
The baby.
So it's his return to Indianapolis. Could be emotional. Who knows? And Pacer fans like CJ Miles. He was a liked guy around here, so it won't be any animosity with any of the security guards or the reporters, whatever. He's liked around here, but it's something to watch.
Animosity. Look at you.
I know the SAT words are flowing out.
The Wizards. Sorry, I just pulled that up.
We should move. That was my transition to the Wizards.
So in their last 2 games, they won by 19 and then lost by 27 the next night. So who knows where they're at? But this Pacers game for the Wizards is their only game in a 6-day stretch. They have a back-to-back and then 2 days off. Pacers game, 3 days off. So they're going to be very well rested.
That's really worrisome because the Pacers, I think, will be exhausted because they'll in this weird stretch, and they're going
to travel,
and they're going to have. I feel like they're going to have some more just dud games. That's been a theme of this podcast because of the Utah game, but they're going to have more of these bad games every so often because they're just traveling so much.
Yeah, they're gonna be dead when they get to DC, and if they get killed by Satoransky again, it's gonna be disappointing when they're tired.
So the Wizards are 10th in offense and 14th in defense.
Oh, my bad.
Well, no, since you stole my transition, I'm gonna steal your
16th in pace.
I'm gonna steal your numbers. 16th in pace. John Wall is not gonna play.
No,
so in the word about that, Bradley Beal has been great. They played him pretty recently, so. They played him, I think it was last weekend, actually. We did a podcast during it where they pulled it out. So it wasn't.
Ojo did awesome on Beal in that game. That was my biggest takeaway.
Yeah. And so that's probably – Beal is probably the butcher, if not Porter, one of those 2 guys, I'm guessing. Is what you have? One of those 2? You either have Beal or Porter as your butcher.
Oh, yes, I have Porter.
Both. I think Porter had a pretty good game last time they played the Pacers. Beal was really bad. I think Beal shot 8 of 27 last time they played. So that's another thing to watch. Another, I guess, one of the X factors is going to be watched is probably Corey Joseph defense, right?
Yep. Same as last time.
Yeah. I'm sort of trying to run through this because Tony, you can see, is fading late in the podcast. Well, we also previewed them pretty recently. We did a whole thing on them. So if you listen to us for a while, I know if you're new out there, you probably haven't heard it, but we talk about the Wizards a bunch. They played them, 3 times in the past month, give or take. So we've talked about them a bunch. And they're not as fatigued as the Hawks.
And it's the Bojan revenge game.
Oh, okay. Another revenge game. Bojan's had 2 great games against them, though.
I leaned in like 6 inches for my mic to say that for some reason.
So I'm going to pull up Bojan against them. Last time he had 20 points, and the time before that, when he was the only starter, he had 29.
He's a good guy, good player. But yeah, I'm not saying he'll be like the guy, but I picked Otto for my butcher because he gets free on Bojan a lot, and he's a great player when he's free. And I think his defense is important, and Porter's kind of slower, so he can get I think that their matchup is just who can get free the most, because that will be the player who has the more effective game.
Oh, I think the matchup is Beal versus Oladipo. Whatever one gets to the rim more and gets to playing his kind of style. Because I think last time Beal just really struggled to put the ball to score, and because I don't know what it was, he just couldn't hit his open threes. But Vic consistently got to the rim and played really well. I think you said it was the most efficient game he's had in a while. I think you tweeted in the first half where he had 19 points on 9 shots. I mean, he had just an extremely efficient game. So I think that's kind of the matchup, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a good one. There's a lot of decent ones too, because I like Gortat as a screener, so Turner's going to be moving around a lot. There's a lot to take in.
And Turner did a really good job against Gortat last time.
And now we have another chance for the Kelly Oubre Lance Stevenson fight.
That almost happened last time?
No, I don't think one of them didn't play or something last time, I think. I don't remember.
You want to hear it? Want to see something crazy? Hear something crazy?
I do.
What do you think Vic's offensive rating was in the last game?
The Celtics game or the last Wizards game?
Last Wizards game.
Probably 130.
144.
Jeez.
And a 100 defensive rating. So both ends.
That's crazy. That is
that's insane. For the amount of minutes he played too, that's insane.
Yeah, that's wild. They don't have an answer for him. He's a good pick for the X Factor.
So over under 1.5 wins in the week.
Oh man. Put me on the spot here. I'll go under.
I do that every time. I think I'm gonna go over. Why do you go under? I'll tell you why I go over after you tell me why you go under. Who are they going to lose to?
Mostly the travel, really. I mean, combine that with the quality of opponents, and it's just going to be tough.
So if you're picking them to win one game or no games,
I'm picking them to win just the Philly game. Okay,
so I think they're winning the Philly game, and I think they're able to recover to beat the Wizards. I don't know if they'll beat the Raptors.
I don't think they'll beat the Raptors. That's probably the one. Their only home game is the one I'm least confident of them winning.
Yeah, but we also do this prediction thing a lot. And last time, I think there was 1 week where we picked them to beat the Mavs and the Hawks, but then lose to the Wizards. But then they beat the Wizards, Bucks, in a 3-game stretch, but then lost. So we're off all the time. It's basically about there. We're off a lot. Yeah. Knowing us, they'll win all 3 of these games and lose to 3 garbage teams in a week.
That would be I mean, I guess if they had to do that, it'd be cool to beat these teams they need the tiebreaker against, right?
Yeah, I think if they have to win, they need to win 2 games. It's the Philly-Washington one. The Raptors one is it's a good win, but it's nothing important.
Exactly.
But so what now with last thing before we finish up this podcast. So they're 39-28 right now. So they've got 15 games left.
Yep.
And they are not 15. Yeah, 15, right? So they need 11 of those 15 to get the 50 wins. Is it still not possible?
It's over. 50 wins is over.
If only they had beat both the Mavs and the Hawks, they would be on pace to get 50 wins.
They'd be close. They'd also be at 41, which is half of them. Also, remember when we were going to do the Pistons watch? Well, they are now 9 games ahead of the Pistons with 15 to go. So
yeah, so good news is the Pacers are going to make the playoffs. They're going to make the playoffs.
They're in.
And also, the Cavs right now are losing by 2 to Lakers with 6 minutes left. So that could happen too. So 3 seed is open. 3 seed is open.
It could happen. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I spilled it out. You listened to our last podcast we did together last week, but about their path. They get the 3 seed to get to the East Finals. I spilled it out, but you have to listen to that one to hear it. Anything else you got, Tony? Anything you're writing this week?
Yes, Trevor Booker stuff. I want to keep up with what he's done so far. And I had one other thing, but I can't remember what it was. But 2 cool things for sure.
Well, Marina just pointed out a tweet that you're writing about Trevor Booker, which I did not see, but she saw, apparently.
I like to stalk you.
Marina blocked me this week. So
that's not true.
Marina, you read anything this week?
That's my homework.
Okay. Check out Marina's homework and her guide. I'm writing about Lance Stevenson. That'll come out on Wednesday, like always.
Marina, what is your major?
Public relations with a minor in sports marketing.
Hey, what do you want to do? Do you know?
Do PR for the Chicago Blackhawks.
Oh, wow. That'd be fun.
All right, Tony, this Q&A is over. You need to go to bed because you sound tired.
Sorry, he likes me more than you like
we
me.
can do a Marina Q&A when we have not 3 games I'm going on for, I think, almost.
This podcast has lasted like 3 hours.
Yeah, we're going on almost an hour and a half now. And we're going to be on Dash. This podcast is going to be on Dash Radio on Tuesday. We'll probably have to cut it down a little bit, obviously. We'll be back this week, obviously doing previews and reviews of all the games this week. We'll figure out our schedule and tweet that out sometime on Sunday. So if you listen to the podcast, you'll be able to look at it. That's been it for today's Locked On Pacers podcast. Have a great rest of your day.